did you think of his next outing? Was it kind of a bounce back going, or did it kind of still?
Well, we're taking it all the way back to Columbus game, which was a rough outing, and then the secondary one was the Nashville one I think we're talking about. And, Nashville's played really well. They've created a number of chances, thought he made some good saves. And then you got to reflect back on a couple of them that he did let in. And I think he was surprised on those shots from James Neal more than technically out of position or anything. And that's sometimes inexperience and understanding who the shooters are and how they score.
How much does your team have to kind of help him, or do you play the same way regardless of who's in there?
Well, we'd like to play tighter. When you compare, if we're talking about the Vancouver game, I think we addressed that after. We were sluggish, we weren't real sharp, we were sloppy. We found a way to win, and Talb's had a large part in that. So we'd like to play better in front of LB tonight than we did the other night. And it's as simple as that.
How hard is it for coaches? Because normally you got a guy posting a shutout playing as well as Talbot plays, you just keep going.
But we laid out a schedule a while ago of how we wanted to play the goaltenders. If we're in a different situation, playoff-wise, obviously we'd be doing a lot more with Cam than we are. But we had made a commitment when Anders was dealt to St. Louis that we would work with and develop a young goaltender down the stretch. And we want him to play at home against a team that's fighting for their playoff lives, and see how he responds in that situation and how we respond around him.
On Baccarina, do you like having a checker with the offensive game?
I like having a worker. Yep. And
A different style, so
he's hard. He creates turnovers. He's responsible defensively. He's straight line player. He's got a under-recognized shot, and he's produced on that line. The other night when we flipped our lines around in the third period, he had the ability to go into the middle for a while. Again, a lot of experiments that we're trying down the stretch, but Pac's become a hard, straight line, responsible penalty killer checker for us, if you will, and I think that he fits that spot right now.
do you think he's got a check? Do you think he's ever going to be score more than he gets? He gets chances, but he's not naturally given.
I don't think he's going to score like Ovechkin. That's safe to say. But I think he can produce more because he does get those chances and he has a good shot.
Todd, just a question about winning and just seeing a couple of guys in the room talking about, sometimes from the outside, the string's sort of being run out, unfortunately, regarding playoffs, and might not seem that important, but yet when you talk to the individuals and see them after a couple of wins, you just really notice a difference. And I wonder if that is something you notice and you can kind of feel it in the coaching staff.
Well, I don't think anybody outwardly and certainly internally has looked at the string and just running it out yet. And I don't expect us to get there. We've set some goals, as I mentioned, we use that word reset, and they're attainable goals. They're things that we think we can get to. And we push those players every day to continue to work towards that. And during the reset, there was wins and losses, power play, penalty kill numbers, all that type, but individual numbers too. So when they go to the board and they look up and they see their name there, you can't mix it in with the whole season. And I think that's kept some guys motivated. Some guys really like their numbers, and some guys aren't so impressed, and they're pushing and they want to improve down the stretch.
Do you like the idea of getting as many games against teams that are still trying to get into the playoffs? Obviously, it's a big difference playing Vancouver and
Yeah, I think that there's different challenges because we're a team that's not going to be in the playoffs. Like it's pretty obvious. So when we play against another team that isn't going to make it in, where's our attitude? What's our commitment level like? What's our desire level to do it right in comparison to the other team that's not going to make it? And I believe we can end up on top. Now when we play the playoff teams, we know that we've got a tiger by the tail, and especially the teams that are chasing a playoff spot rather than settled in, and tonight's a prime example of that.
Do you embrace the spoiler role? Is that something that kind of should motivate a team?
We haven't even talked about that. We haven't gone outside our room. It's about us getting better and, you know, the results, if we spoil it for somebody, great. But we're not doing it to spoil it for them. We're doing it to improve for us. Good, see you tonight.